Welcome to Around the World on 8 Plates. In this series, we're going to visit different countries and introduce these countries to you by providing information regarding itinerary. We're also going to teach you how to cook signature dishes from these countries and interview locals from these countries so that you can have a better understanding of what these countries are all about. So join me, your host, Jojo Tang, as we go around the world on 8 plates. Presented to you by National Taiwan Normal University, Common Core Education Committee, Foreign Language Education Division. Previously on Around the World on 8 plates, we went to Italy.
After Italy, we went to Bangladesh. Now we're going to a new country. Where are we going? Here is a clue.
Guys, it's funny monologue time. So one day I went swimming because it was so hot outside. And then suddenly I heard a sound, a loud noise. Suddenly, doesn't that phrase remind you of a country? It sounds like the name of a country, Sudan. Well, if you still can't get it, that's okay. Today, we are going to the country of 3, 2, 1.
Let's say, welcome to
The country of Sudan.
And today we're going to teach you how to make
A tomato salad from this country.
and this salad is called Salata Tomatim Bel Daqua. Before cooking, let me introduce a sample itinerary for this beautiful country.
After landing at the airport of the country that we're featuring today, what would be a good itinerary?
First, make your way to the town of Begaria, and that's where you can find the Meroe Pyramids. That's right, there are pyramids in Sudan as well as in Egypt. So here you can definitely go on a hike along a trail, and check many interesting things out. Now here's a short history regarding these pyramids. First date to remember, 3000 BCE. And by the way, BCE stands for Before Common Era. During that time, people from Egypt sent many other people to Sudan. Why? To look for ostrich feathers, spices, gold, and other important things for their civilization. Now the next date to remember is 1070 BCE. What happened then? Well, the Egyptian civilization collapsed, and the people from the south, near Meroe Pyramids, they used this as an opportunity to invade Egypt. Why did they do that? Well, it's because they thought that they were the true descendants of an Egyptian god. I'm sure that when they went there, they told the Egyptians to just hit the road, and of course they scared the Egyptians to death.
Now the next important date is 1070 till 715 BCE.
With lots of economic and military power, the people from this part of the world eventually invaded every country in northern Africa, and thus they expanded their territories.
Finally, in 1715 BCE, one of the first black pharaohs died. Pierre was his name, and he wanted to be buried just like the old pharaohs did in Egypt. And thus, he was the first pharaoh in 500 years to be buried just like the old Egyptian pharaohs. Now that we know the history, now let's find out what are some of the reasons why it is better to visit the pyramids in Sudan. First is the cost. Going to these pyramids can be cheaper than their counterparts in Egypt. Second, it is less crowded. You can leisurely walk around instead of having to line up again and again. Yes, you are in the middle of a desert where there's no shade, no meadows, and waterfalls. The good thing is it is easier to hang in there because there aren't a lot of people. Third, there are actually more pyramids in Sudan than Egypt. Because of this, you can see more of these unique creations. Finally, they were built more recently and have a more unique design. Their design is different because they are steeper than the pyramids in Egypt. Other than the Meroe Pyramids, there are other historical sites to visit in Sudan. For example, there is the Western Dafufa in Kerma, Kerma. It is one of the largest worshipping places on the planet, and there are many ruins next to it. Other than that, you can also visit the Sandlone Swaki. It is a fortress, and it is a building that is iconic and historic because it used to be part of the staging points for Muslim pilgrims. Other than historical places, Sudan is also home to many natural reserves. So you can see mountains, oceans, and even lots of wildlife. And of course, Sudan is also home to the Blue Nile and the White Nile. What are their differences? Let's find out in the next section.
The first thing you must remember is that the Nile River is the longest river in the world. It's not the biggest, but it is the longest. And it has two major or main or most important tributaries, the Blue Nile and the White Nile. And the Blue Nile and the White Nile, they meet in the capital city of Sudan, Khartoum. Now, how are they different? Let's start with the Blue Nile. First, let's talk about the location. The Nile, or the Blue Nile, starts in Ethiopia, in a lake in Ethiopia, and it curves to the north, and it meets the White Nile in Khartoum, Sudan. Next, the size and shape. Although it is shorter than the White Nile, it contains more water, and that's why it's more important. And finally, the importance is it supplies 80% of Sudan's hydroelectric power, and it helps in irrigation. And because of that, Sudan can grow lots of crops such as cotton. Now, what about the White Nile? First, the location. It starts in Uganda and it meets the Blue Nile in Khartoum, and it goes straight up to the Mediterranean Sea. Now, let's talk about the size and shape. Well, it is much longer and it is pale because there are sediments in the river. That's why it's called the White Nile. Now, let's go to the importance. Because it is straight and long, it is a great passageway for transportation. Before teaching you how to cook today's special dish, we are going to introduce today's country even more. So, look at the information on the screen so that you can learn more about the country that we are featuring today. Let's begin with the list of ingredients. You'll need 2 limes, red chili peppers, tomatoes, 3 to 4 tomatoes, 3 tablespoons of oil, a 1/4 cup of peanut butter, salt to taste, and 4 green onions chopped. Step 1, chop the green onions into small pieces. After that, chop the tomatoes and the chili peppers, and then mix them with the green onions that you chopped earlier. Now add the juice of 2 limes. Season with salt and mix, and then it is time for you to add the peanut butter. Finally, drizzle with oil, mix everything, and serve chilled. Here we have the Saharan tomato salad from Sudan, which is also called Salata Tomatim Bel Daqua. In case you need it, here is the written recipe for today's dish. I hope you enjoy making and consuming or eating today's dish.
Now let us welcome our special guest who is from Sudan, and he is going to tell us more about this wonderful country. So I won't keep you waiting anymore. So now let's meet Amani Hamid.
Do you live in Khartoum?
Yeah.
In Khartoum?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never been there.
Yeah.
Like what is it like over there?
You wish to go there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I can assist you if you are wishing to
But
visit Khartoum.
if I go there, what can I see?
What is your main work, maybe? What is your main work?
I'm a
What is your
professor. So
area?
if I go there, what are the things I can see as a tourist?
A lot of things.
Like what?
As you know, there is the longest river in Africa, which is
The
Nile.
Nile. Yeah.
The blue and the white Nile. When they join each other in Khartoum,
Yes.
an area called Al Nugran, and there is also in the northern of Sudan, there is a lot of pyramids. It is older than Egyptian pyramids, by the way.
So not many people know about your pyramids, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the people know about the Egyptian pyramids, but few they know that the Sudanese pyramids is older than the Egyptian
I'm sure
pyramids.
I'm sure you've seen the
Lot of
pyramids many times.
yeah,
Yeah.
and there is a lot of agricultural areas and green areas and like forest dunes, and there is a lot of interesting things
Okay,
in
okay.
Sudan.
Nice. So yeah, maybe I'll visit you in Sudan one day.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to. You have to visit Sudan.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, nice talking, and yeah, we'll see if I'm free or not. Okay.
Okay, let me know and try to meet me again if
Okay.
it is
Sure.
possible as soon as possible.
Okay. Sure. Sure.
Okay?
All right. Okay.
Where are we going next? Stay tuned for the next episode as we once again slowly and carefully go around the world on 8 plates.